lust is a fire that burns, then love is the water that cools. If lust takes, love gives. If lust is selfish, love is selfless. For centuries, sages have taught that the most powerful way to overcome lust is not merely through suppression, but through transformation. You cannot fight darkness by wrestling with it. You bring in the light. And the greatest light is love. Let's begin with a timeless example. Saint Francis of Assisi was once a young man overflowing with desire. In his youth, he loved parties, fine clothes, and the company of women. Lust, pride, and pleasure seemed to rule his life. But one day, everything shifted. He encountered lepers on the road, people despised, feared, and avoided by everyone. At first, he felt the natural disgust that so many others felt, but something stirred inside him. Instead of riding past, he dismounted his horse, embraced one of the lepers, and kissed him. That single act of compassion shattered the walls of selfish desire. From then on, his life was no longer about lust or wealth, but about service, humility, and love. His story teaches us that lust shrinks the heart, but love expands it. This is the secret path many forget. Lust closes us in on ourselves. It is about what we want, what we crave, what we feel we must have. Love, on the other hand, opens us outward. Love pulls us into connection, into giving, into seeing beyond ourselves. And that shift out of self and into selflessness is where lust begins to lose its grip. I once knew a man who was trapped in endless cycles of lust and pornography. It isolated him. He became self-centered, ashamed, and withdrawn. His relationships suffered, his confidence eroded, and he felt empty. But then he began volunteering at a children's shelter. He poured himself into service, playing with kids who had been abandoned, reading to them, helping with their meals. Slowly, something began to change. Lust no longer held the same power because his heart was filling with compassion and love. His focus had shifted outward. When he lived for others, he was no longer consumed by himself. That is the transformative power of love. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, where in your life can you cultivate more love? Could you deepen your relationships with family, friends, or your partner? Could you give more of your time in service to others? Could you shift your daily question from what do I want to how can I love? Imagine if each day you practiced one act of selfless love. Call someone who is lonely, cook for your family, encourage a struggling friend, help a stranger without expecting thanks. You will notice something extraordinary. The more love you create, the weaker lust becomes. It fades like a shadow in the presence of light. This wisdom is echoed in Scripture. In Christianity, Paul wrote, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not self-seeking. Love is the opposite of lust because it has no hunger to consume." In Buddhism, the practice of metta, loving kindness meditation, dissolves lust by filling the heart with compassion for all beings. In Hinduism, bhakti yoga, the path of devotion, channels desire into divine love, replacing craving with surrender. And the great Sufi poet Rumi once said, "Lust says, what can I get? Love says, what can I give?" Every tradition across the world agrees. Love transforms lust. Consider marriage, one of the clearest battlegrounds between lust and love. Many couples begin with passion and desire, but when the fire of desire fades, so does the relationship, unless love has taken root. I once spoke to a couple who had been married for over 40 years. Their secret was simple. They said, "Don't chase lust, build love. Lust fades, but love grows." Their marriage was not free of temptation, but every day they chose kindness, patience, and forgiveness. They conquered lust not by denying attraction, but by deepening love. Their bond survived storms because love, not lust, was the foundation. Why does love conquer lust so powerfully? Because lust is narrow, but love is wide. Lust says, I want this for me. Love says, I want joy for you. Lust depletes. Love replenishes. Lust isolates. Love connects. Lust drains us, but love fills us. And when love fills the heart, lust has no room to thrive. This is why the great teachers never said, just avoid lust. They said, fill yourself with love, because where love grows, lust dies naturally. Imagine a garden. If you simply pull weeds but plant nothing, the weeds return. But if you fill the garden with flowers, vegetables, and trees, there is no space left for weeds. In the same way, if you simply try to remove lust, the emptiness will call it back. But if you fill your life with love, lust has nowhere to grow. Let's reflect on a modern example. A woman I once knew admitted that she used to chase attention endlessly. Every compliment, every flirtation gave her a rush, but she always felt empty afterward. Then she became a mentor to younger women in her community. She started teaching, encouraging, and guiding them. Slowly, she found joy not in being desired, but in helping others rise. Her desire for attention transformed into love in action. Lust lost its hold because love had taken its place. Love is not only about grand gestures, it is about small daily choices, smiling at a stranger, listening deeply when a friend speaks, choosing to forgive instead of holding a grudge. Even these small acts of love build a heart so full that lust cannot dominate. Some might ask, is love truly enough to conquer lust? The answer lies in practice. When we practice love consistently through meditation, service, gratitude, and devotion, lust weakens. One of the most powerful practices is loving kindness meditation. Spend 5 minutes each day closing your eyes and silently saying, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be at peace. Direct it first toward yourself, then to someone you love, then to someone neutral, then even to someone you struggle with. Over time, this practice changes the heart. The hunger of lust softens into compassion. Another powerful practice is service. When you volunteer, help a neighbor, or give your time freely, your focus shifts outward. Instead of asking, what do I crave? You begin asking, what can I give? And with that question, lust begins to dissolve. Gratitude is another antidote. Each night, write down 3 things you love about your life. Gratitude deepens your sense of fulfillment and reduces the restless cravings of the mind. And of course, nurturing relationships matters deeply. Call your family, invest in friendships, show up for your partner. When you fill your life with real connection, illusions of lust weaken. Finally, spiritual devotion transforms lust at its deepest level. Whether through prayer, chanting, or worship, redirecting desire toward the divine replaces craving with surrender. That is why saints, mystics, and yogis often radiated such peace. They had not killed desire, they had transformed it into love for God, for humanity, for all life. But there is a danger. Many people try to fight lust without filling their hearts with something greater. An empty heart is dangerous because lust always finds a way in. You cannot simply push lust away. You must replace it. That is why the path of love is essential. You can't just remove lust. You must replace it with something stronger, richer, and purer. Remember this. Lust will always whisper, take, but love will always whisper, give. The more you choose love, the less power lust will have over you. Lust isolates you, but love connects you. Lust leaves you empty, but love leaves you whole. Lust blinds you, but love opens your eyes. So walk the path of love. Practice it in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Let it expand your heart so fully that lust becomes nothing more than a shadow. Because in the end, only love remains. Love is the higher way. It is the antidote to lust. It is the expansion of the heart beyond selfish desire. It is living not just for yourself, but for others. And it is the most powerful path to true freedom.